It is, let's see if the chat is working now on this live. As soon as people jump in here, we'll see if the chat is working. There we go. Now I see it. Ray, Mud Grips, good morning. Jason, good morning. So I don't know, did you guys hear everything I was saying when I was just live? Rousey, good morning, about the shipping and the everything. Back porch, boom. Rusty, good morning. Machinist, good morning. Anyway, so I was saying that I think I'll have almost everything moved today. Mauricio, good morning. Vince, good morning. And then tomorrow, Zach is going to help me, and we'll get the big bar that I built here and the fridge, the heavy shit that I'll need some help with. Rick, good morning. Yeah, no internet service for a bit, so it's going to put me a little further behind on shipping. I'm going to try and get a bunch of labels printed off today before I leave here. That'll help a little bit. No, your mic is a bit soft. I mean, I've got my volume all the way up. Maybe I'm just talking too low. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. It's a nice Saturday. It's a little cloudy, overcast here, but the temperature's all right. Ray can hear fine. Hagar, good morning. Ronnie, good morning. Sound good, thank you. Hear you great. Thanks, Rousey. I'm gonna get all the computer stuff and all the lights and all the camera equipment. I'll get it all moved out today. I don't know how quickly I'm gonna be able to set up that new studio, but it might not look great for a while. There might be some time that it takes me to get the set built and everything to make it look nice. Chilly and sunny in West Virginia. Sound is good, but I always have to turn the volume to max. Okay. Hagar's the man. He sent my little Ruby a get well card. Well, hell yeah, Hagar. Well, some copper will always brighten up a room. Isn't that true? There's also some news over on school. Well, I'll talk about school stuff over on school. I'll leave that there. Cold and gloomy in Michigan. Justin, sorry about that. Good morning, though. Love my copper. Yeah. What's not to love about copper? So we got an open live right now. We got folks in here that are not channel members. Cold and wet in Chicago. Scorp 40, good morning. Stainless can make a room shine too. That is absolutely true also. Collector Rick loving some silver. Hit that like button, sting that thumb, he says. Hell yeah. How's Winsong? Haven't seen her in the lives for a bit. Yeah, she's she takes a hiatus from the social media stuff occasionally. She may be gone a few months, you never know. Cold and overcast in Iowa. I guess it's that time of year. Good to see you in here, Aaron. Stainless is great, but copper is history. Yeah. Let's get more likes in here. AB Canada. Good morning, George. Brian, good morning. Yeah, she's in good health. I mean, she's got a little sore throat in the last few days. She's fighting something off, but it's a minor thing, no big deal. Stainless is easier to clean, that's true. Only gonna get to 50. Dang it. Everyone needs a break every now and then. Yeah, she, being on the social media stuff is kind of a, I don't want to say chore, but she's, yeah, it's work for her just to be involved. Y'all play it safe. Buy from Still in the Clear. Stay away from Lions Brewing Solutions. Rusty, I have not heard of Lions Brewing Solutions. Sounds like maybe you had a bad experience. I'm sorry about that. Being on social media is very time consuming. It certainly can be. They're on eBay? Okay. Once I get over into the new location, I am going to start building up the Homebrew Center website, start putting a lot more stuff on there, a lot more stuff on the Still in the Clear website. Do you prefer propane or electric? I prefer propane, but I think I don't have a real reason of why I prefer it other than it's just what I have the most experience in, what I've used the most. I did get a brand new controller from Shine On Controllers, and it worked really well Thursday night. I'm going to start using it more so that I can get some more experience running the electric, and then I'll be able to better compare and contrast the pros and cons of both. Electric with a controller works great for me. Yeah, Ray. I don't have anything against running electric. I just haven't done a whole lot of it. Minnerman, you got one hell of a beard, dude. Man, it looks like shit right now, too. Just been busy. Not a lot of primping going on lately. Let's see. It's been 5 years since I've used propane. Looking to go back due to my boiler size. Yeah, I guess that is kind of an advantage of propane is, if you have a large boiler, you've got, you might have to use a couple of 2,000 watt elements or, a 240 volt element, and then you start using quite a bit of electricity. But I don't know, we'll see. Hagar says electric for me. Lawrence Donovan says I'm handsome. Okay. Jeffrey, I missed the live Thursday. Did Miss Joe win the steal? Miss Joe did not win the steal. There were a lot of disappointed folks in that, including me. But the winner was a beginner that had just ordered a Beaver. So pretty exciting to be able to give a great steal away to someone just getting into the hobby. I mean, of course, we ruined them by, giving them such a great steal. They will soon be addicted to this hobby because of us. It's officially Christmas time here at my house. The wife has been up since 6 a.m. decorating. Man, getting an early start on it, before Thanksgiving even. I've been running electric for the last 5 years. I'm old school, love my copper. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Gordon Shinerman, good morning. Neil, good morning. 240 volts, way more efficient than 120. Yeah, I guess that is true, Jason. It is more efficient. And with the new shop, and we have the ability to run 220, wherever we want it. Maybe I get into some, or 240. Maybe I get into some 240 later on. Olin, good morning. Damn, Zach gets you every time. Brain fart, good morning. My SCR has a numerical display 0 to 100. That's what I use to gauge where I need to set the temp until the liquor starts running. Then I adjust it based on the liquor output. Yeah, that's a good plan. When I was running the Shine On controller Thursday, I had it at like 90 volts getting up to temperature, and then I backed it up, and I think when it started dripping, I backed the voltage up to about 84 volts, I think is how I was doing it. Neil G, good morning from the Philippines. Good to see you in here. That's awesome for a beginner. Yes, North Georgia Steel Company's car are Cadillacs for sure. Propane is cheaper for the newbies to get started. That's true. Very true, Justin. My controllers has a voltmeter, amp meter on the display. Yeah. Yeah, and that was pretty handy too. Cleaning a 15.5 gallon beer keg to run with my new setup. Would love to install a controller, but dang, they're expensive. Rusty, they're not cheap. That's true, Getting you got to get the element, you got to get the controller. I use electric Weaver with hot plate in the bottom. Great for a small run, but I've been modifying since the second run. Hats off to almost everyone here. Thanks, Si, for keeping me inspired. You're welcome, brother. Yeah, and there's a lot of people in our community that have started with a Weaver and gone through, all the various mods. So, if you're running a Weaver and want to get some help with modifications to that Weaver, there's a ton of that in our community. In fact, the Duke is currently building out in the classroom an entire section devoted to Weaver modifications. When my steel starts running, I usually work best around 45 volts for a good drip rate. It is 10:16 p.m. in the Philippines. Well, it's morning time here. Jason, same here. Mine has a volt and amp meter. Voltage stays constant and the wattage is what varies. Weavers are tailor-made to mod. Yeah, especially the Lombardi styles. Is it better when distilling a slow drip or a steady stream? Aaron, there's some variables in that question. So one, larger stills, especially larger stills with a thumper, they kind of want to run on a stream. If you're a beginner with a Weaver, you want to start out with a drip. Smaller stills, this is how I run them. When I'm running a small steel, I like a drip or a drip, what I call a broken stream, which is like a drip, 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 drip stream, drip, 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 drip stream. That's how I kind of like to run the smaller stills. The larger stills, it's a solid stream when I'm running. Larry, good morning. Mud Grips, letting the LG know when we're live to the public. Run a Modus 6 Weaver, modified Weaver. Jason is saying the way he has his wired is the voltmeter shows the voltage as it moves instead of constant. I don't even know what that means. I started with a Weaver 8 years ago, modified the heck out of it, then upgraded, modified, and upgraded again. That's how most people do it. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot here than the other channels out there. Neil G, I mean, that is kind of what we focus on here, is helping people get into the hobby, being as educational and friendly as we can. That's kind of the entire focus of our channel. And then of course, having fun. We goof off a lot. We've built a community around the channel. You can go check out our school community called the ABV Society, where you'll find a ton of information in the classroom section. There's a link down in the description of this live video. Hit that link and you can go check it out. Thanks for the sub, that's great. First great mod was an SCR controller similar to Jason's, just not as durable. That's the control you want. Nice, Neil. So for me nowadays, a big still is 15 gallons and up. There was a time back in the day where I was running larger stills than that. But so for me, the stills that I have range from 5 gallon, 8 gallon. I have a number of 10 gallons, a 15 gallon, two 15 gallons, and a 20. So right now the 20 is the largest one I run. Mudgrip says, join us on the school platform. We are ABV Society. I put a 20-inch tall column on an 8-gallon Weaver. Yeah, hell yeah. Cyrus is the best at learning from. A lot of great videos. I started on Weaver and watched Cyrus's videos. Well, thanks, Ray. Daryl, good morning. Jason, only thing different on my controller is I made it to where I can shut my cooling fan off, simply so I can momentarily hear my thumper going. The controllers are kind of loud. I mean, you know, they've got that fan in there that keeps them cool, and the Shine On controller has a really good fan in it. It moves plenty of air to keep the thing cooled down. So your 15-gallon with a thumper, you'd prefer a stream? Yeah, it almost does not want to run on a drip. You can barely get it to drip, even just trying. Yeah, and that's I'm talking about the Copper Moon steel. Now, the keg steel that I have, if I want it to drip, I can get it to drip, but it doesn't have a thumper. Inventive, you can shut mine off, but you have to open the lid. There's a fan speed control in there. Oh, I didn't even know that, Jason. I'll have to check that out. I stumbled across a DIY steel build company, but I don't care for their styling. I'm looking forward to you possibly selling a pre-cut DIY design. Yeah, Rusty, that's something that I'm hoping to get set up this coming year. I don't know how long it'll take me. I've got to spend quite a bit of money to get like a CNC machine and different things like that. So it's a pretty big move. I think it'll be good. Vargov Roy, very insightful. I'm trying to make a brand of heritage Asian spirit called Horarak. I don't know if I pronounced that right. From a tribe named Karbi from Assam. Interesting, Aaron. I double distilled a good watermelon mash, proof 160, What should I be proofed down to so it's not so hot on the throat and belly? You know, for me, a sipping whiskey, which I guess that would be a brandy technically. I like my brandies down around 80, 85. That's proof. That's where I like them. Rusty, was that claw hammer? Big and bold move. Yeah, it's a big move for sure. But I think, I think there is a vacancy in the market, I'm going to say. Um, I think there's a vacancy in the market. I think there's a lot of people out there that if there was a good DIY copper steel kit at a reasonable price, I think that would help a lot of people because if you get a Beaver, you're going to spend around 100, and then if you're going to get a copper steel, the next affordable jump is an Alembic. Some people don't want an Alembic really because they want a thumper and all of that. And I think if I could make a DIY steel, a DIY kit, like a 5-gallon kit starting at around 250, I think people would buy that. And let's see, the drip rate is also determined by your condenser too. A small system for a worm yeah, for sure. About half the folks in here actually like the show. Hit the like button, friends. Thanks, Neil. I like my claw hammer. I had to change the condenser. It was too small and too close to the pot. Gordon's, are you talking about their milk can version, or are you talking about the DIY version? That DIY version of theirs, I agree with you. That condenser that comes off of the cap is very right next to the steel, and it's really short. I ran my 26-gallon and I ran it with drip, then a little stream. Ran perfectly, came out great. Awesome, Larry. Baragov Roy, sir, can put classes on distilling Asian spirits like soju and sake. Sir can put classes. Bargov, are you asking me if I could put classes out on that? I would have to do some experiments and do some running because I don't have experience. I've never made a sake. So I'm probably not the guy to create a class on that. I could do like a tutorial video on how I do it. Whiskey Benton Hellbound, good morning. I would buy a DIY kit just to build one. Yeah, right? Dave, good morning. Bought my first steel recently. It's Beaver. I used champagne yeast on a corn mash 4 weeks and it's still bubbling like it's in a boil. Yeah, that's nice. It'll finish up. Just be patient. Sometimes it takes longer than others. The DIY copper pot. Yeah, okay. I know which one you're talking about. I ran the sack alcohol cleaning run yesterday. I realized I can run my Liebig from my Beaver on the 20-gallon. Oh, nice. Just attaches right on. Same size tri-clamps, I guess. Nice, Jason. Claw hammer doesn't ship to every state. That's interesting. Oh, I have ever done is copper pot, add thumper and condenser, everything copper. I have not tried any other. One idea is possibly selling laser cut wood patterns instead of cut copper. It's easier and cheaper to make those. The copper can be hand cut with shear. That's true. That's true. And then Another issue for that though is like if I'm if I'm buying copper sheets, 5 or 10 sheets at a time, I'm getting a better price than if an individual tried to buy 1 sheet of copper. Um, at least I think that's how the economics of it would work out. So yeah, I could certainly do laser cut templates, and then someone can buy their own copper sheet, and those laser cut templates could be way cheaper. You're right. So it would be even, uh, I don't know, maybe it would save someone money. I apologize for not being to school lately. I've been dealing with contractors. Hope to get in the class soon. Yeah, no worries, Neil. You hang out when you can, and we understand when you can't. My templates had holes for rivets. I drilled the copper with the templates. However, rivets are not really necessary. True. All right, Rusty. Thanks for hanging out, brother. Douglas, good morning. Could you hang copper plates in the mash to get the same effect in a stainless pot? If you're using if you're using copper to remove the sulfides, it has to be in the vapor path. It doesn't do any good to put it in the mash itself. So inside your column, inside your cap, anywhere in the vapor path is where you would want to put it. I just joined the group. Nice, nice. We'll when I get off here, I'll go over there and I'll put a welcome in there for you. Made a funky one last night. Spent grains from red, white, and blue corn, water, sugar, 1-year-old funky rum dunder. Yeah, I saw that post. Let us know how that turns out. The wood templates get around the state sales restrictions. You know, I the state sales restrictions is probably not something I would even worry about anyway. I mean, just me personally, because I don't think that's really going to be that big of a deal, honestly. I'm jumping over here on school right now. There's Glenn Pamandanan. Pamandanan. That's a tongue twister right there. Let me jump in here and give you a welcome. Welcome to the ABV Society at Glenn, not Glenn, Glenn Pamandanan. There you go, brother. Thanks for joining. I think you'll enjoy it there. Everyone has, of all the members, I don't know how many we have right now. It looks like 81 members. No one has left yet, which is pretty unusual for school. A lot of people join groups and then they leave them, but we haven't had anyone leave yet. So I think you'll like it. You could also recycle the scraps to help cut costs on copper purchasing, true, which is certainly part of the plan. Stainless steel is easy to keep clean. Copper does affect the taste though. I use stainless steel pot with copper components. A lot of people do it that way. I cut 5mm birch plywood on my laser. Yeah, I had never thought about that, just selling template kits. That's really a good idea. Barbara, good morning. And I thought the copper mush and my column was just for reflux purposes. Learned something new today. Hell yeah, Justin. Rodney's got a day off, finally, woohoo. Oh, Glenn spelled backwards is your name here. Oh, I get it, I see it, I see. clever. I did a lot of Cherokee White Eagle corn this year, and it was absolutely fantastic. Oh, nice. I like trying new corns. Douglas, if you have not upgraded to a larger column, you can exchange some stainless steel parts to copper of the same size and get some effect from the copper that way. That's true. Jason's out of the running to 100. You had Halloween. 78 members, 3 admins. Okay. Zach, good morning. I think some people would feel more authentic if they cut their own copy. Yeah, for sure. Running the red, white, and blue in the new still tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, Glenn, lots of welcome messages. It's a tight little group over there. Where can we find Amanda Palmer? Azure Gold, I believe. What's the name of that company, that grain company? That's Azure something. I think they sell Amanda Palmer. I haven't been able to get a wholesaler to sell me Amanda Palmer yet, but I'm working on it. Well, guys, I think I'm going to jump off here and start loading up the truck some more so I can get this place packed up and moved. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me as always. Heck, you could still supply the copper, but just supply square sections for people to cut with their templates. Yeah, I could. I certainly could do that too. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I will see y'all later. It's Saturday, so see you on the Monday live and maybe over on school this weekend. See y'all later.